Hiya, Mish here, and I've got a GitHub feature for you to check out. We've been shipping some really cool new things at GitHub, and one of the new products we've just released is the new Projects powered by GitHub Issues. And to walk us through a demo of this and all the new features, we have Allison. Allison, over to you.
Awesome. Well, let's get right into it. It's been a month since we made Projects generally available, and we are going to take you through all of the latest and greatest that we've added since our public beta last year. So let's get into it. So first off, adding projects, or adding items rather, is super important to make projects useful, and adding them one by one could be kind of annoying. But luckily, we have help for you with our bulk add. And all I need to do is hit that button and search, for example, a label here of backlog. And then I can easily select items that I need to add to my backlog. Now, if you noticed, I hit add item from this backlog section in my table view. And so when I add these selected items, it will automatically set the status over here to backlog so that they appear in the right grouping. And speaking of grouping, in our boards view, you can now choose what column you'd like. And since a board is really just a grouping of items, this is pretty powerful. I can sort by area or iteration if I'd like. I'm going to go back to status though, because I need to know what's going on with my project. So you can totally customize by whatever field, any custom field that you've created. And thinking about further customizing your fields, we've made filters even more powerful. So for example, we now accept tokens. So if I did assignee is me, when I look at this board, I'm gonna get all of the items that are assigned to me. But if Mish looks at this board, for example, it's gonna show her all the items that are assigned to her. So this is a super easy way to set up a view that's really just your work. Another cool thing we can do here is time tokens. So if we've got iterations, you can do current, next, previous, which is really fun to quickly view what's in a current iteration from your view. And you can even do relative filtering. So in this case, this is my current iteration, the immediately next one. And although you could just use next for that, perhaps you want to see what's 3 ahead or 2 ahead. My project doesn't have quite that many items, so those are empty at this point. And in case you want to exclude things, that's also an option. So in this case, if we have, we want to see only things that have status, we don't really care about things that haven't been set yet, we can simply do -no status. Or for example, minus iteration with no iteration there. So the filter is even more powerful than we managed to have it beforehand. And then finally, to make it, really easy to dive into any of these items, previously you'd had to click on one of these and that would maybe take you to the issue in the same tab. Maybe it would take you to a new tab. But now when you click on it, we've enabled you to just open any item here, and it'll open in the sidebar. It'll keep you in context, and I can leave a comment here such like, we should probably do this. And it's as easy as commenting right from here. I can also edit any of these custom fields or labels, and I never have to leave the context of my project board. So hopefully that makes that super easy for you to update your items as you continue development. Now, if we go back to our areas here, another thing that we've added is the ability to create and edit your custom fields directly from this board. So playing to that whole concept of let's keep you in context. Let's not make you go to a random settings page or a brand new tab. Let's keep you where you're happy. So here I can actually create a new field directly from this view. And I could name this something like, let's see, designs ready. And in this case, this could just be a text field, a number, date, single select, or iteration. But I'm going to choose single select and show you that you don't even have to go to settings to create these options. In this case, I can just do yes, no, and then maybe, we've got some follow-ups needed here. And I can go ahead and save. And then now I've got this custom field all ready to go, and I can fill this out according to what I need for the item status. And if I decide that, wow, I actually totally forgot an option here, maybe in progress is an item here, I can go ahead and create that right from this cell. So again, I don't have to go back and forth between a setting page and this page. However, don't worry, we didn't take that away from you. If you need to actually edit any of these options, perhaps you want to add a nice little emoji here. Let's add a nice little green check mark. You can go ahead and do that right from this settings and go ahead and save to make sure that your project updates. You can create fields on the fly, you can populate them on the fly, and you can always edit from settings just as you're used to. Finally, last year, we allowed folks into our insights and charts as a beta, but now we've opened this up to a bunch of folks. Awesome. These are my favorite graphs. For any paid organization, so if you're an organization on a team or enterprise cloud plan, you'll have access to these historical charts. So that is any chart that is charted over time. So for example, this shows us that we haven't really made progress here on our project. But if we look at Max, you'll see that we've had quite a bit of jumps around all the various items and what stage they've been in. So this feature is great for helping you understand how your work is progressing and seeing sort of like that burn up chart of your work. We loved using this to track all our items for GA. And we're super excited to share it with you now. And if you're not an organization, don't worry, you still have access to current charts, which will give you a snapshot at this moment of how your items are visually represented. So for example, we could do a stacked column here of status. Maybe we want to group this by assignees, and we just want a count of items. And so here I can see the breakdown of each of our teammates across each of the status items here. And of course, you can also edit this or filter it just as you would filter it in any of your other views. So there's a lot that's been shipped since our general availability last month, since our public preview. And with everything generally available, we would love for you to try it out and give us feedback.
Wow, Allison, my mind is officially blown. There's so many cool things here to take our planning and tracking to the next level. So I've got a couple of questions for you. Now, people are probably sitting here listening going, this is really cool and can't wait to dive into the new products and new features here that you've got for projects. So if I've got an old project board, how do I migrate over to the new projects to get all these really cool new features?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually have the ability for you to test one of our feature previews, which is automatically migrating your old project boards. So for example, here, if I go to my user settings and go to feature preview, what you'll want to do is look at this project migration and be sure to enable it. And then once you're there, all you'll need to do is go to your old projects and then click on the options, and there will be a migrate button for you. Go to any classic project and migrate, and it'll help you with that process. It'll automate it for you so you can get started today.
And during your demo, Allison, you mentioned a couple of times this word customization. So if people want to customize their projects and some of the things they might want to do aren't necessarily available, where can they leave that kind of feedback for the projects team?
Yeah, so the best place to put it is actually in our community repository. These discussions here are areas that the product team for projects is looking at all the time. It was actually my job this week to answer questions. So if you go to github.com/community/community and go to discussions and go down to the issues tab, you can search what folks have suggested before you, or just go ahead and open up a new discussion. And we'll be looking at those all the time for ideas and feedback.
Thank you, Allison. This has been so cool. Thank you so much for walking us through a demo of all the really cool new features that are available for the new projects powered by GitHub Issues. I'm sure people are super keen to jump into them. So people, if you haven't tried it out, go check out the new projects powered by GitHub Issues. It's really cool. Don't forget to leave your feedback. As Allison promised, her and the team are looking at all those feedback questions and those discussions, and they are taking those on board. So please like and subscribe. You don't want to miss the next GitHub checkout video. Leave a comment down below if you really enjoyed this one, and keep an eye out for our next checkout video. Catch you then.